Okay, and let's go back to New Jersey and find out if Andy Guase is dried out. No, that has an alcohol connotation. If he's no longer wet from the rain or freezing from the snow, and he's got power back on. This guy has been through a lot, as have millions of people back there. Andy, are you all right? How are you?
Doing fine, Jeff. How about yourself?
Well, I've nothing to complain about. I mean, you've been through a lot of stuff there. This has been wild. First, it was Hurricane Sandy, and then it was the nor'easter, which I guess has gone through there last night pretty well.
And then, 6 inches of snow.
Yeah. And then it was the so-called election, which is probably just as disgusting, but on a different level, if not more. Yeah, the so-called selection, which is what it was. And anyway, let's start out with Hurricane Sandy. What happened?
Well, goodness, haven't had anything like this on the Jersey Shore for 75 or 80 years.
It made a left turn and came right. It made a left turn and came right in.
It did indeed, yeah. And the impact was just devastating. Something that these people here just weren't quite ready for. And so the result was anarchy, chaos. If you've ever wondered what it's like, people pushing each other and cutting in front of lines and stealing, it's disgusting. And the politicians and the leaders who commandeered both taxpayer resources and private resources, like they took over gas stations and said, okay, this gas station is just for our cars, and naturally their friends and families' cars. And we had politicians taking, generators, backup borough town generators, and taking them to their house and using them for private use. So it was just,
pretty despicable.
It was that sort of despicable behavior. And then, town next door, the mayor decides that he's going to go and order the gas stations in his town to only sell gas to the residents of that town. The sort of blatant discrimination that I suppose would have gotten them put in jail just a month before.
They didn't declare
that sort of behavior.
They never declared martial law. Not formally, but there were a lot of things going on there that obviously demonstrated how many humans, unfortunately, have a very low common denominator. This thin thread that holds people together in a cohesive, at least it's what appears to be a cohesive society, can be snapped very quickly, and they revert to extremely animalistic and lawless behavior, which you're alluding to already, and you didn't see it all. You saw a little bit. This is what we've been saying for years. If you're not prepared, it can all fall apart in a matter of hours. People turn into gangs, killers, robbing, raping, looting, stealing. Anything's possible. Now, if this lesson isn't enough for you folks to do something to prepare for something like this, it could be anything. There could be so many possible catastrophes happen here. Nothing will help you. This should do it. Tell us a little bit more about this psychology of people really regressing very quickly to a very lawless state.
Oh, indeed, yeah. The lines for everything. Well, naturally, we live in an area where people are used to having today's groceries and going to the store for a week. You and I have discussed this before.
Just-in-time shopping.
Right. And so when the just-in-time store has no power and can't sell anything, and that was the other thing now, cash was king, baby. If you had, of course, we were using silver coins to barter for our stuff, and as a result, we had no trouble getting anything we needed. Silver bought everything, batteries, gas, even with the odd and even restrictions. Because the individual station owners knew that no matter what happened after the dust settled, that that silver was going to buy the same amount of gas that it did before it started. So we already had developed barter relationships, and of course I had been fully prepared. We had 3 backup generators. I had 20 gallons of gas stored, boxes and boxes of all sorts of flashlights, batteries, everything we might possibly need, in addition to the armory. And naturally, we had to guard our facilities and prevent, because that's essentially what it was. There were no police. There were no fire. There was no EMS. There was no one to call. There were no phones. The cell phones didn't work. The regular landlines didn't work. We had one lowly emergency backup copper line, which was the only functioning phone line for 15 square miles. And it was only because we kept it to run a single circuit to. So it was quite a scene.
You mean
naturally?
Yeah, excuse me. You had the only phone line for 15 miles that worked?
Yeah, it was an old copper phone line.
I understand. No fiber optics, no digital, none of that.
No,
okay.
Yeah, none of that. When all of that wave came through with the Fios and the fiber and everything, we said, yeah, we'll take that, but leave our copper line alone. I just want this one lonely copper line, hooked it up to our phantom power, and we were good to go. So I had outside communication after the first day. Of course, we had to find that line, but what it did is it highlighted for us what we weren't prepared for, and it highlighted for everybody else how inefficient government is. And the lawlessness that I saw was more that mob behavior. You know who banded together and stuck together? Politicians, elected officials, borough employees, public employees. They all knew when the gas stations were going to open and where the police were going to be assigned, and so they always got first in line and for everything that came through. And as the relief supplies came through, naturally, they get first pick, and then everything else filters down. It was blatant, and it was the first time that people in New Jersey have had to witness this. So in addition to the regular roving gangs, you had the uniformed roving gangs.
And thank God, no wholesale killings and rapes and beatings broke out. But that was just around
plenty
the
of
corner.
looting.
Yeah.
Plenty of looting.
Well, looting is a horrible offense. But a few more days of chaos, or had things been even worse, we could have started, I guess, having shootings, killings.
Sure.
Robberies. Yep. I mean, let's go get
over 5 gallons of gas.
Exactly. And God help anybody if people knew that they had a stash of gold coins or silver coins, as you've alluded to. You had to literally guard your stuff.
Yes.
Wow. Did you pull in extra help?
Well, we, as a company, we all know how to do double duty. So
yeah.
Everyone knows what to do. And
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, there were no supermarkets broken into that I heard about. That was close, though. The first thing that goes when the power goes, supermarkets can't sell anything. Now, they can barter, as Andy said. How do you determine the value of a dollar? Now, you do numismatic, or were you just dealing with bulk silver?
Yeah, we were dealing with coin silver. In fact, the 3 transactions that I made involved 5-gallon cans of gas, a full 5-gallon can of gas for $3 face value of 90% coin, which, I paid too much for the gas. But that was another thing that I had a problem with. Those fortunate souls and enterprising gas station people who went and got a generator, hooked it up to their pumps, and were ready to sell gas. If I would have been those guys, it would have been, $6 a gallon, $8 a gallon, right? But no, you had the Consumer Affairs Department telling them, oh, no, you can't charge more than you were charging before the storm, which a great many station owners said, all right, then I'll just shut my pumps off and wait and see because I'd rather this gas in the ground than that, paper. and that's exactly what happened.
Gouging, price gouging, people taking advantage of other people. I guess that was pretty common, too.
Indeed.
What a horrible state of affairs for this society to fall apart and dive to the bottom of the barrel that quickly. It used to be said that...
city on earth.
What's that?
In the greatest city on earth.
Yeah.
That's their rallying cry, New York City, right? The greatest city on earth.
I've got a couple more questions on this. Fascinating to hear it from somebody who knows how to analyze what he has just been through and bring it to us.